So in today's video, I'm going to go through how, in my opinion, what is the best and quickest way to deal with being skinny fat. I've been a coach for over 4 years now, and this is something that has come up a lot. You get the people who are feeling like they're skinny and they don't have much muscle, but also at the same time, they have extra body fat that they want to get rid of. And the question always is, what should you do? Where should you start? And I'm here to break it all down and show you the exact process that I use with my clients to tackle this. This is the same system that I've used with my client Reese, who over the past 10 months now has managed to strip down his body fat and build a considerable amount of muscle, dealing with this exact skinny fat problem that a lot of people have. So stick around, keep watching this video, and I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Let's get into it. So when it comes to skinny fat, the first thing we need to look at really is, what even is skinny fat? What does it mean? How does it come about? And skinny fat for me is when you have a low muscle mass, higher body fat percentage than you'd want, and you're almost kind of caught in the middle, okay? So you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you feel like you're skinny in a way, but you also feel like you're carrying body fat, and you don't quite know what to do. Like, whether you should, how to tackle this in a way. You're skinny, but you're also fat at the same time, if that makes sense. And it is a good question, like, where do you start? What are you supposed to do? How can you get out of this to build a physique that you want, okay? And there's a couple of different ways, and there's a few different options that people will try to try and tackle this. And the first one is kind of bulking straight away, okay? So jumping into a calorie surplus and trying to gain muscle to get themselves out of it, okay? The second one is maintaining, or some people might call this main gaining, but it's like a body recomposition, okay, where you'll stay at the same weight while you're training in the gym, in the hopes that over time you'll build muscle and you'll actually start to look more muscular rather than looking skinny, okay? And then the last one is kind of cutting and dicing down first, stripping the body fat first, and then going from there, right? Now, what I want to talk about, and this is what I recommend, and this is what I do with my clients, okay? And that is, bulking straight away is going to get you fat, okay? Simple as that. If you bulk straight away, basically what's going to happen is you've already got an amount of body fat that you're not happy with. And when you're bulking to try and build muscle, fat gain and adding body fat is inevitable. So you're only going to get more and more fat if you approach being skinny fat by trying to get into a calorie surplus and build even more muscle, okay? The next one and the next thing is maintaining, and that's like the body recomp, okay? And this works, and all of these things will eventually work, okay? But the body recomp will work, but it's extremely delayed gratification, right? So you're gonna be training in the gym, maintaining your physique, but building muscle over time is a very slow, drawn out and long process. So if you're doing this at the same time and you're keeping your calories the same and you're maintaining your body weight, then yes, over a very long period of time, you're gonna see results, but it's extremely delayed gratification, and it's gonna take a super, super, super long time for you to see any real change to your body. And that's what I don't like about that method. The last one is cutting, and that is my sweet spot, and this is what I recommend, and this is what we'll do with my clients, okay? What we do when we cut is you see faster visible changes in your body. So when you cut first, you're actually going to strip away the body fat that you want to strip away, so you instantly will start to look leaner and you'll see better results, which then is going to translate into you being more motivated to stick to the plan, and you're going to be happier with your process and your journey along the way because you're feeling better about it. It's going to help reset your metabolism, okay, and I'll get onto that part and that point a little bit later. But when you are cutting and when we are spending time dropping body fat on the lower calories, it can help reset your metabolism. So when we do bulk and when we do start to gain again, you're going to have more calories to play with. You're going to be able to eat more food. It's going to be much more enjoyable. It also can boost testosterone, okay? And the studies show that people who are in the 10 to 12% body fat range. So people with a lower amount of body fat, not super shredded bodybuilder, but people who have a lean, healthy amount of body fat, have higher amounts of testosterone. And the easiest way to increase and boost your testosterone is, if you are a person who is carrying too much body fat, is to cut down and strip your body fat. So it's a way we can boost our testosterone first, which then in effect is going to help us build muscle. So we've got more testosterone flowing, it's going to be easier to build muscle, right? And it gives us a solid foundation to game from properly. Now, a lot of mistakes and a lot of the things that guys will make over time is that when they come into a gaining phase and when they come into a bulk, is that they quite easily spill over. They have way too many calories, and over that period they put on way too much body fat, and they end up not being happy in the way that they look, okay? And that's why I recommend, and I'll always recommend, that we want to be cutting and we want to be stripping down body fat first, right? Now, I'm going to show you how to cut in the right way, and this is exactly what I've done and we've used with my client Reese right here. So when Reese came to me, he was kind of in that stage of being skinny fat, and he wanted to, end goal was to build muscle, and end goal was to put tissue on. But at first, when he first came to me, the first plan of action and the first thing that we needed to do was to strip down his body fat. And this is what we did here. Visibly, it actually looks leaner as well, which is good. And what we did to do this, from his start point here on the left to where he was, he's not there now, but where he was on the right, was a sustained calorie deficit. So we put him in a calorie deficit where he was burning more calories than he was consuming over time, so his body fat was coming down. We kept his protein intake high, so around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And what this would do is allow him to retain as much muscle, so he could recover better in the gym while he's on the lower calories, and he can maintain the amount of muscle he have. So when you are in a deficit, you're not losing the muscle that he's already got as well. And the last thing was obviously resistance training in the gym to retain muscle. Okay, so when we're in a cut, it's much harder to build muscle. You still can build muscle, but that's a whole other topic that I won't get into right now. But in that calorie deficit, keeping a solid resistance training program in place is allowed him to retain the muscle that he's had. So we've got a solid base to kind of work on over time right now. All right. So after we've gone through and after we've finished our cut and we've stripped away the body fat and we're in a good spot where you're happy with your levels of body fat, and now you're probably just going to feel skinny, and that's fine. Sometimes you need to almost feel like you're moving backwards to move forwards. Okay, so once we've stripped you down, you've got a solid base to work from. That's when we'll move into the transitional phase, right? And what the transitional phase is this is where I like to say to my clients, this is where the magic kind of happens, okay? So we want to reverse diet you out of this. So we'll slowly start to bring your calories back up. So if you're on your deficit calories that you're on, let's say you're on 1,600 calories in a deficit, for example. Now we want to kind of slowly bring these calories back up over time while your body weight is staying fairly stable. And the way we do this is just a little bit at a time, okay? So Reese, let's say, for example, he wasn't on these exact calories, but let's say, for example, he's on 1,600 calories. We finished the diet, we're in a good place with the body fat, it's stripped, we're primed, we're ready to go, and we're ready to kind of transition into kind of a gaining phase, right? The first thing we want to do is up his calories. So we up the calories by 200 or so, and then we see how the weight responds. Give it a little bit of time, give it a few days, give it a week. We just want to see how that body weight responds. If it's staying the same or if it's still coming down, then we do the same again. Boom. Up the calories a little bit more, see how the weight responds, give it a little bit of time, and then go again. And what we're trying to do here, and the aim of this, is to milk as many calories as we can out while we maintain the weight. And this is where the point I made before about resetting your metabolism, okay, is when we strip down the calories and we strip down the body fat, as we regain and we reverse back into it, a lot of the time people are very surprised at the amount of food they can eat and get away with without even gaining any weight. So one, it's going to make, staying lean a lot easier for you, but two, you can have a lot more food. There's a lot more calories you can play around with here, which is ideal in a way. It's a good problem to have, okay? And the last thing is ramping up your metabolism, like we said, to get ready for that growth over time. So we'll do this and we'll get to a point where we're starting to push the calories a little bit higher, and the body weight's then starting to creep up. Basically, we're milking as many calories as we possibly can out of this while his body weight is staying in and around the same before it then starts to kind of creep up a little higher than we'd like it. And that's the transitional phase, okay? We've stripped down your body fat. We've maintained and we've ramped up your metabolism to get your calories primed in a better position now. And then the next phase is the growth phase, okay? And this is where we move into the gaining phase. So with Reese, this is exactly what we did, all right? So again, when we get to that point where we start to ramp the calories up more, this is where the magic happens. So we want to continue on with this process. So in a very controlled manner, so he's putting on minimal body fat gain, and we're also optimizing then the calories that are going in towards muscle growth. So one big myth that I'd like to talk about is people think that to gain muscle, you need to be eating tons and tons of calories, okay? You need to be stuffing your face. You need to be eating here, there, and everywhere, and a lot of food. But you actually don't need much food at all to grow muscle, right? I think going off the science, the optimal amount is 30 calories above your maintenance. Something stupid like that. Something that's a negligible amount that you would kind of try and track and keep log of. So what we do is we just up them the most minimal amount we can. So again, when we're at that maintenance point, that sweet spot with his calories, we just add an extra 200 calories or so on top. That's it. And when we see how the weight responds. But hopefully this time now we're in the gaining phase, the body weight's slowly creeping up, right? And that's it. That's pretty simple. The magic in this is that when you get to a point from when you've finished your fat loss phase and you're transitioning into your gaining phase and your maintenance phase, is that you start to feel way better in your body straight away. You know, you've got a few more calories in your system to play with. Your muscles are going to be fuller. Your glycogen stores are going to be fuller. You're going to get better pumps when you're in the gym. You're going to feel and have more energy. Your sleep will be better. Your sex drive will be better. So a lot of different factors. And that's why I say it's like the magic. It's where the magic happens, is because coming out of that deficit where you're lean, you've stripped back your body weight, stripped back your body fat, into the gaining phase where you start to build muscle now, and we start to ramp up your calories, you will feel and both look way better. And then from there, this gaining phase, this is something that I'd take a more of a long-term approach with. Like with Reese, we did 3 months on a calorie deficit to strip him down. And then we've spent the last 6-7 months kind of gradually building things up. And this is a picture from where he is around this time last month. So you can clearly see, you know, the muscle tissue is coming on nicely. And he's feeling and performing the best he ever has done. And to quite simply put it, that's how we do it. And that's how we do it here at Train Limitless. That's my system that I use with my clients to help them navigate that skinny fat approach and help them navigate that point being skinny fat. Something to remember is it's a long-term approach. So I wouldn't look for any shortcuts or quick fixes, because that's what it's not. It's going to take time for you to phase out of this in a way. It's going to take time for you to transform your body from being that point of skinny fat to having an actual physique and having muscle on your frame without excess body fat. But if you kind of perform it like this, and if you kind of follow these steps and take it as it comes by yourself, then you're going to do well with it, mate, and feel like you're going to get some good results from doing this. Guys, hope you've enjoyed the video and hope you've learned a few things. And lastly, hope that this can help you get out of your phase of getting out of being skinny fat. Now, I'm going to leave another video up at the top for you here. Like I said, the fat loss phase during this process is super important. So I want to share a video I've done on my super simple approach to fat loss that you can start implementing today along the way on your journey. So take care, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.